Hi everyone, how are you? It's been a while. I honestly don't even remember the last time I uploaded a video. It's been quite some time. A lot has changed in my life during this period. Some moments were really beautiful and some were quite difficult. Life felt very different for a while. But slowly things started to feel a little lighter again. Even though I wasn't posting, but I still keep recording small moments of daily life from time to time. And now I finally have put everything together. And thank you for your patience. So let's begin. That date, it was my friend's birthday, and the new Macro store on Book Street had just opened. Since we still had some time before dinner, so I decided to stop by and take a look.
Okay.
The camera eats fine.
I see the vision.
Oh, but then I guess like the
1 minute.
1 minute and
34 seconds. 34 seconds.
1 minute is the
fucking time.
This? Touch the picture you want to delete.
We can retake. We can retake if we want to.
Yeah.
Touch the picture you want to delete. But no, please choose the one that we
Like-
want.
Hey guys, how are you? It's been a while since I last picked up the camera. Lately I have been sticking with my sleeping schedule I set for myself. To be honest, enough sleep is very important to me. My mood has been great recently. Some little things upset me, I get over them pretty quickly, and that's the biggest thought when I changed my sleeping schedule. And today, I was meeting with two of my friends, and Eddie, she just came back from a trip to Vietnam, and I'm so excited to catch up with them. And I already took Molly for a quick walk, and now I'm heading to train station, and I will see you there. I was meeting some friends for lunch that day. We had already planned the time, but I go on the wrong tram, so we had to change the place at the last minute. Luckily, we managed to find a restaurant that was still open. Afterwards, we had some Italian ice cream, and it was absolutely delicious. Around that time, Molly's health started to decline quite quickly, and we were going to the vet more and more often. We also slowly realized that the time we had left with her might not be very long. I remember reading a line in The Last Will and Testament of an Extremely Distinguished Dog by Eugene O'Neill. The translator wrote something that stayed with me. He said, "From the day we decide to have a dog, aren't we already preparing ourselves for this day? Anyone who has a dog knows that one day they will leave before we do. But emotionally, letting go is something we can never truly prepare for." When the day came, we were completely unprepared. We thought that when we brought her to the vet, we would be going home together again. But this time, the backseat was empty. I still remember the moment we received the call from the vet. On the other end of the phone, she said, "Molly's condition is very bad. She may be leaving us soon." In that moment, all the noise in my world seems to disappear. I just want to go back and see her one last time. I didn't even realize how distressed I must have looked. My eyes were swollen from crying, my voice kept trembling, and the pile of shake shoes in my hands kept getting bigger and bigger. When Molly left, she was very peaceful. We kept telling her how brave she was, how good she had always been. She looked just like she was falling asleep, the way she always did. Only this time she wouldn't wake up again. We couldn't bring ourselves to pack away her things. In the end, we chose her favorite blanket and her little bee pillow and placed them gently in the box. That process was very hard. Her bed still had the shape of where she used to sleep. Her water bowl was still there along with her treats. In the fridge, there was still the food we had prepared for her, and at the times we were used to waking up to take her outside, everything still felt as if she were here. Saying goodbye is never easy, but I believe that she still lives on in our memories. I'm so grateful that Molly came into my life. She was my first dog, and she was the best dog. Time passed little by little, but even as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, it still felt like her leaving had only just happened. The house no longer echoed with the sound of her paws tapping against the floor. It became so quiet, almost too quiet, like something was missing, like the life had gone out of it. After a while, we made the decision to get another dog, a black Labrador. It might have seemed sudden, but there was a reason. One of Molly's closest friends was also a black Labrador, and somehow at just the right time, there was a little litter of Labrador puppies born on a farm not far from us. So 2 months later, she came into our lives. Her name is Romy. I still remember the first day we picked her up. She was so tiny, she couldn't barely walk properly. And just like that, she grew a little bigger every day. I was honestly surprised by how much energy such a small puppy could have. Before she turned 6 months old, she was basically a little land shark. That name is definitely not a joke. Her teeth were so sharp, and almost every toy in the house ended up getting destroyed. This time, we wanted to give her the things we didn't get to do with Molly. Taking her on drives to the mountains, going for walks, letting her swim, run, and simply be a dog, making friends and playing with others. tell me. Hi, I finally finished the entire The Mirror Visitor by Christelle Dalbo this month. Last night I finished the last book, The Storm of Echoes, and honestly, my first reaction to the ending was, wait, that's all? I completely understand the idea of an open ending where readers can imagine what happens next. I actually don't mind that. But what felt a bit frustrating to me was that all the mysterious build-up in the first 3 books only really get explained in the last one, and mostly in the second half. So when I tried to piece together the world building afterwards, it left me with this strange feeling like I kind of get it, but also not really. It feels more like an abstract concept than a clear system with rules. And be careful, there's a spoiler here. So in the last book, I'll put it down. So in the last book, there's a moment where Ophelia looks at her hand and flips it front and back. It representing what's the right side and wrong side are, and is the mirror supposed to be like a mirror thing that she can travel between these 2 worlds? And it actually reminded me of the Upside Down in Stranger Things. And even though they offer just explain like who is God, who the other is, and why the arcs exist, and how the family spirits function, these were the answer I have been chasing the whole time, but in the end they still felt a bit unclear. So yeah, I was a little disappointed, but I have to admit the biggest reason I keep reading this series because of Ophelia and Fawn. So in A Winter Promise, the first book, I actually really didn't like Fawn at all. I wasn't even interested in their romance. What I cared about was Ophelia herself, how she faces everything on her own, and how she grows from someone shy and insecure into someone brave and resilient. But slowly, across the books, I started to see their relationship developed. And it's very subtle, just a little bit in each book. And by the last one, when I finally saw how deeply they trust and depend on each other, that's when the story ends. And I was just like, I need more, please, I need more. But overall, I did enjoy the series. I mean, I finished all 4 books in a month, which says a lot. Even every time I pick it up, I was completely upset, and because there were so many things I wanted to know, especially what really happens to Ophelia in the end. But that's my thoughts on the series, and thanks for listening. And if you read this series too, I really love to know what you think. Bye.